Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I am so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 5th of April at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening or watching an archive or a replay, I want to also welcome you to the show. And I want to let you know we're over in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number one, number 2radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat, or you can just search in Facebook for the 1 2 Radio group. You'll find it either way. And ask for entry. We'll let you right in the door, and you'll see my banner at the top of the page. That's where we are chatting. If you would rather watch than listen, you can do that by heading over to Facebook or YouTube and searching for Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. You'll find the live stream. So, either way, one way or another, you can certainly come and check it out. Come play with us. So I hope you guys are having a good day. If you're in the live stream, you notice I have got quite the raccoon goggles going on from all the softball games. Every year I try and prevent this, and I'm not very successful. And honestly, I've done kind of a bad job of taking care of my face early in this softball season. So I am committing to doing a better job. And but this is ridiculous. I'm going to have to get some good makeup or something and also do better. But anyway, my face is, well, it's a thing right now, but that's okay. I can roll with it. So how are you guys? How was your weekend? Everyone doing well? Not well? What's up? Yeah, I certainly got more sun. Oh, lordy. It doesn't feel warm enough to be getting burned like this, but it is. So, anyway, I got to get my shit together. I'm going to have to also probably enlist Scott to remind me to put sunblock on because I'm just not doing it. I don't know what's the matter with me. Right? I look like I spent the weekend skiing. I just spent the weekend watching softball. But anyway, I guess that sun hits different in Montana or something. But we are just, we're in the thick of Mars's season, and it's a crazy drive to go to watch her games. But at the same time, the season goes so fast, and then it's over. So we're just we're committing, we're just getting to as many games as we can and driving, going to places we've never gone before or haven't been in a long time and stuff. And it's actually really, really fun. Uh, Getting to hang out with parents that we didn't know in the past, which has been really fun too. I mean, there's a lot of perks, but apparently destroying my face is not, supposed to be in the cards. So anyway, I shall do better. This is stupid, but at any rate, I hope you guys are having a great week thus far. We're definitely in a little bit of a different energy, and I think it's going to feel better this week than last week. Last week was just so emotional and intense and dramatic, and this week doesn't feel quite like that. I feel like we're going to have a better chance to work on our own stuff, not be so distracted, not be so triggered, just be able to focus a little bit more on the stuff we need to and want to do. So that's important. What are you guys drinking? I'm drinking Earl Grey. Well, I'm drinking a London Fog, actually, with Earl Grey. Yeah, this week should be better, Lillian. I do believe so. It feels better to me, a lot better. And yeah, I know. Last week was really weird. So I didn't really like the new moon energy, to be honest. And I a lot of times don't. I'm a Cancer baby. I was born under the sun or under the full moon. I really wasn't, but I was born under the moon, and I don't love the new moon. I frequently feel a little out of sorts in that energy. But anyway, here we are. Hey Terry. Well, I have a bunch of show and tell. Okay, all right, Laurie, let's just commit. She said she also used to be good about putting on sunblock, but lately has been remiss. All right, me and you, we're committing right here, right now. No more foolishness. Right? The raccoon eyes or something. Oh, Mary, have you guys had a lot of wind? So have we. We had 40-mile-an-hour winds yesterday. And the little town that I was born in, the little mountain town, there's this old historic drive-in movie theater there called the Spud, you know, because we're Idaho. And they had this cool old truck out front with this giant spud in the back of it that I don't have no idea what it was made out of. Maybe fiberglass? Just, it's iconic. It's been there forever. 2 years ago, they ended up, during COVID, they said that they just couldn't keep going and they were going to have to close. And the community like rallied up to help them get, some things in place and fix some things and help them keep going because nobody wants to see that theater go away. And by God, if that wind didn't completely destroy their screen yesterday, it is in matchsticks. So sad. However, again, I'm really hoping the community comes together and helps. And hopefully they have insurance for that too. I mean, I hope this doesn't end them. That's where my dad used to go as a kid to go to movies. It's just such a neat old place. So I was really sad to see that this morning that it was leveled. Hey, JR. Yeah, not good. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I hear you. We've had tons of wind too. And actually, my tip this week is about spring allergies for that reason, because the wind's really flaring it up. So let's do some show and tell first. I already put a whole bunch of pictures up in the chat room, but I brought a bunch of things to show you guys. We've been 3D printing fools, as you probably already know. But we printed this freaking awesome ram's skull. How cool is this? It's kind of hard, I think, in this picture or in the video. There, you can kind of get the texture of it. It's like brocade textured. Isn't that cool? Anyway, I'm in love. I think that is so awesome. And the horns are so amazing. Yeah. And I actually do have license to sell these. Some of the stuff we print, I don't have a license to sell it. It's from a different designer. They will let you sell, buy them or print them for personal use, but I can't like put them up on Etsy or anything. But this one I actually can. But isn't that the coolest? I love it. Yeah. Okay. And this shelf. Oh my gosh. I'm going to talk to this designer because she has a whole bunch of these and I really want to sell these. So I'm hoping I can get some kind of commercial rights, but it's a little shelf. We printed it in rainbow. Isn't that cute? This is to hang on your wall to display crystals in or other little knickknacks. But for me, and she printed them actually with crystals in mind. But yeah, and she's got some really cool ones besides the moon, like a sun and a phoenix and a giant crystal with little shells to put your crystals in. Ironic. Anyway, isn't that cool? I love this. And I really want to sell these. So I'm going to try and work something out with her so that I can. If not, we might have to just design our own kinds that don't, impede on what she's doing, but maybe just make some of our own. All right. And then dragons. My God. We've been printing dragons till the cows come home. My niece was here and she was like, if you guys would print littler dragons, I think that like younger people would absolutely love to buy them to put like on their rearview mirror or hang off their backpack, stuff like that. So, teenier dragons. This is the rose dragon we printed a lot of times before, but we made her really little. Isn't that cute? And I know some places it's illegal and you could really actually get pulled over and ticketed for hanging stuff on your rearview mirror, but not here. It probably is illegal. I don't know, but it's not something anybody says shit about. And then a smaller scale too of the coral dragon. He's kind of cool. The coral dragon is cool. See her horns are awesome. And then the all the detail in her flippers and stuff all literally look like coral. So it's hard to tell in this one because it's smaller, but this is the bigger version, a rainbow version of the coral dragon. Isn't she cool? Look at her flipper or her fin on the bottom, on the back. Love. Anyway, so this is the coral dragon. Somehow, and it wasn't ever the dragon's fault. It was like we were having trouble with the with the machine or with the filament, but we have had several fails of the coral dragon, and we finally managed to get a couple to print beautifully. And Luckily Scott is a brilliant fixer, and anytime anything goes wrong, he knows what to do. I would be dead in the water, but he's brilliant with this stuff. Anyway, this is the winged sea serpent. And I just think he's so cool. The wings to me look like angel wings. He's more of an angel dragon to me. Isn't he cool? And then look at the feathers on his tail too. Y'all. Anyway, so I should probably print this in some kind of blue, and this is the Archangel Michael dragon, right? Anyway, that is what we've been doing. You know, just lots of 3D printing. Every week we're like, we should order more filament. Now, at some point, I should put more of these things on Etsy, and we are going to do some fairs and shows this summer too. To support this freaking habit, because we're always considering buying more filament, another machine, more stuff, because this is just dang fun. It really is. It's amazing to watch something just be built from the ground up like that. It's pretty cool. We even now have a camera on our machines that is connected to the Wi-Fi. So wherever we are, Scott can open up his phone and see what our print looks like. We are dorks. We're ridiculous. I know this. It's never going to change. So anyway, that's what's new. Every morning you get out of bed, you head straight down to the studio to see if your print is finished, or if it's not, how it's going. And occasionally to sadly have to say, we have a fail, because that happens too sometimes. Not terribly often, but it definitely happens. And if you have a fail, sometimes what it is doing is either just printing into thin air. So the printer is acting like it's printing something, and you probably printed part of something, but something happened with the filament and it's not extruding anymore. So it's just printing nothing. Or it came off of the base that it's not printing a certain anything anymore. It's just extruding PLA or the filament stuff, and it looks like just a big pile of spaghetti. So those are the two main fails that we've had, but not a lot. Yeah. I'm with you. Mary said, I love the crystal shelf, but with as many crystals that I have, that would have to cover the whole wall. I know, me too. But I love the idea of Christy has a few little shelves like this in her office. Just displaying a few special crystals here and there. It's super cute. Yeah. But me too. I mean, I could have a shelf like that. Okay. Scott says he would just build you one out of wood to cover the whole wall. Oh, Terry said some magnetized Venus symbols because everyone needs more of the power of attraction. That's a great idea. We could do that for sure. Okay, just jumping into the chat rooms really quick. Okay. All righty. I love drive-ins too, Pamela. We still have one here in my town too. She said they don't have one anymore. I know, drive-ins are fun. We still have a drive-in that is like it's pretty old-fashioned. It really is, and they still have like the concession stand where you can get like the old fresh cut fries and fair burgers and all the milkshakes, all the greasy spoon kind of diner stuff. Anyway, we try to go to the drive-in like once a season. I'm such a big wimp. It's uncomfortable. We have these great chairs this year. Maybe they'll be more comfy, but to sit that long, like you don't sit in the car. Most people pull in with their pickups and either have like a mattress in the back, of the bed of the truck that a bunch of people hang out in. We usually do that for the kids, and we bring our lawn chairs. But I just get cold, even in Idaho in the summer at night. We still drop pretty good, and I get cold. It doesn't matter how hot it was all day. So I just have to remember to dress warm and bring blankets, and it's fine. But anyway, it is a treat to go to the drive-in. It always has been. Yeah. Yep. Lillian said the last movie she saw at a drive-in was The Odd Couple. I have always wanted to see that movie. Oh, what is it called? Now I can't remember. It's Twister. Have you guys ever seen Twister? It's a movie about people. Helen Hunt is in it. It's about people that are chasing. They're tornado chasers, storm chasers. They're scientists, and it's just such an awesome movie. And there's a scene in the movie where people are at the drive-in, and the a tornado comes through and completely destroys the screen, like wreaks havoc on the drive-in. Now, I've always thought it would be pretty cool to be at the drive-in and watch that movie, right? Be ironic, would be surreal, I guess. I don't know. This has been a dream of mine, a lame one, but a dream nonetheless. Speaking of movies, the new Harry Potter movie is almost out, and I'm all about it. I cannot wait. It's more of the magical beasts ones, you know. So excited. But have you guys seen? I've talked about this before, but the next week, the last season of Dairy Girls comes out. Have you guys watched Dairy Girls? Not dairy like cows, dairy, Derry, like Derry, Ireland. And that's where this show is set. It's Derry, Ireland in the 80s, and it's a bunch of teenage girls and a boy that are going to Catholic school. And that's during the time where there's, major trouble between the Catholics and the Protestants, and uh, they hate the Brits, and I the all the political dynamics are there, but also these girls that are just, kind of coming of age kind of movie, or show. The Catholic school is so hilarious. The nuns are so funny. Anyway, if you have not watched Dairy Girls seasons 1 and 2, do it. Do it with subtitles on, because their accents sometimes make it hard to make out all of the words, and it's even funnier if you know exactly what they said, because oh my god, these girls get into some hijinks. Anyhow, season 3, the final season, is coming out next week, and I am here for it. I'm so excited. So anyway, now you know, Dairy Girls, if you want to just laugh your ass off. Such funny stuff. Yeah, Tiffany saw Twister. She knows what I'm talking about. Yep. See, wouldn't that be cool? Yes. Okay. Terry needs. So, are you talking about a shelf, Terry? Like a crystal shelf in a Venus symbol? Send me like an actual picture if you can, or like, a symbol, a thought, and yeah, I'll send it to Scott. I know he can make it happen because he's brilliant like that. I know. Me too, Pamela. She said she wants to go storm chasing with a professional team. Hells yes. Yes, yes, yes. However, there were some bad tornadoes last week that came out of nowhere that did some pretty good damage in a few places. So, hard yikes. We don't, I mean, we get big winds. Like we had big wind yesterday, but we don't get twisters very often. That would be really rare to have here, once in a rare while. But like a major tornado that like tears through a town and, like really tears stuff up, we don't get that. But who knows? Everything's changing. My God. I mean, look what's happened in Boulder. Second wildfire that's threatening to burn everybody's houses down and stuff. What is going on? It is bananas. So who knows? Oh my gosh, you guys also. Speaking of bananas, do you remember the Harlem Globetrotters? They were a professional, well, semi-professional, I guess, basketball team that would travel around and oh, they still are. Sorry, they're still in existence, huh? That they would come and like do charity events and stuff like that, and play games against various other teams, and they were so funny. Like it was lots of tricks and jokes and stuff like that. I went to a Harlem Globetrotters game when I was a kid. My dad took me to one. Anyway, I discovered yesterday that there are some baseball teams that do the same thing. So there's this team in Savannah, Georgia called the Savannah Bananas. And they are so funny. So they're playing baseball and they're actually really good. You can't be a you can't be a lame baseball player to be on their team. I mean, they're like professional good. But they also like certain music will come on and they'll have to stop and like drop it low or all this stuff. I watched a clip last night of a guy go into the full Chinese splits to bat, and the pitcher on the other team could not throw a strike to him because he was literally on the ground. The umpire also had to get down in the splits to, you know, call the game. Anyway, he walked. But so funny. Anyway, so if you love baseball, go look for the Savannah Bananas. They are so dang funny. You'll die laughing. So funny. Oh, yes. Sharon knows what or Shireen knows what I'm talking about with Dairy Girls. Yeah, so do we. It's ridiculous. It's so funny. It's so shocking. The very first episode. I don't know if I should tell you because now it'd be a spoiler alert. I'll just say that it appears that perhaps they killed a nun. They didn't, but it is so damn funny. Uh, Scott, yes, I am streaming to Facebook Live. Are you not seeing it? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, some people can because I'm seeing comments from Facebook Live, but I don't know. The notifications are so slow and weird. Who knows? Is it just you? It's just you. Okay. Well, cannot wait. Oh, yes. Jennifer watches Dairy Girls too. Yeah, love it. And Jennifer, I'm just so grateful that you guys were safe from the second fire. My goodness. I just can't even. I can't even. All right. Also, the breeder sent me video a few days ago of the puppies playing. Oh my hell, you guys. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? All I'm going to want to do is play with puppies 24/7. Also, still really working on how the other dogs are going to handle this. Like, they know it's happening, and I think they're going to be fine. It's going to be interesting around here. And the pigs, oh, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I am getting ridiculously excited. So we'll see. I already, yes, I did, Scott. Scott's hazing me. He said I probably ought to explain why I have raccoon eyes. I already did. Oh, good. Another boulder fire today. Holy shit, Jennifer. This is out of control. She said it's smaller and contained now, but they're looking at high winds for the next 2 days. My God. So that's number 3 then? Oh, good Lord. Right? What did Boulder do? I don't know. I don't know. I can't believe some, radicalized pastors not over there, blaming I don't know, the gays, the new ages, the atheists, abortion. Whose fault is this? You all know I don't believe any of that, right? I was hesitant to say it because that was sarcasm. I didn't mean that, but you never know if people don't get you. Who knows? I'm sure they're blaming somebody. Yeah. Yeah, Lillian, it's a mess over there. I don't know. Gosh, I know. That's really scary. All right. Well, let's take a look at Luminous. There's quite a bit to cover there, and I just really wanted to get some readings in today. Oh, Karen, I will regale you guys with puppies until you're going to be sick of it. I mean, I already can't quit talking about it, and they're not even here yet. Insane. So they will be ready, like this 1st of May. But I don't want to bring them home until after we're done. Uh, send in DeSantis. Good idea, Lillian. Uh, my son said he's thinking about doing wildland fire crew for the summer, and I'm like, oh, are you sure? I don't know. You can make a lot of money. Make a lot of money doing that, but hard yikes. Ugh, I don't know. Anyway, I totally digress on the puppies. So I can actually bring them home the 1st of May, but we might still be traveling for softball depending on how the girls do in districts. And so I'm really hesitant to I'm going to wait. And the breeder said she'd be happy to hold on to him as long as she needs to. My Boise kids are like, we'll just go get him on the 1st and take care of him until you're ready to bring him home. And I'm like, I don't know, because are you guys going to potty train him right or start bad habits? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Mars says we'll just get him, or we'll just go and get him and we'll just travel with him, which I won't do because they'll only have one shot. And I'm not going to travel with puppies that aren't fully vaccinated because that's just asking for a horrible tragedy. And I would never do that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And maybe they won't make it. These guys, Mars's team played clear into the Sweet 16 last year, but I'm not so sure they'll go that far this year. We'll find out. I'm not voting against them. I never will. But I don't know. I don't know that that'll happen. So anyway, that's all. All right. Well, I just shared a link for you from Luminous Magazine in both rooms, and you probably already received it anyway this morning, but I'm also going to share the screen and we'll talk about a few things here. Okay. I love the cover this week. Very magical. All righty. So last week I was at Costco and they had these gorgeous hanging baskets of begonias. And I had to buy one. And it's like, I think it's called the Martha Washington. They are beautiful. But, it's obviously it's way too cold still and windy and stupid here to put anything like that out. But our greenhouse is so happy right now. It is so happy. And it's where all of our fish are in a big pool that, we keep for aquaponics. And so it's really humid in there and it's warm and beautiful. And that begonia is going nuts in there. So someday she'll be unhappy to have to move out of there into a drier climate, probably. But so far, so good. But if you have a Costco, wow, $16 for a big hanging basket. That's unheard of. At least where I live, that is completely unheard of, but it is gorgeous. Anyway, but we're really at the point where we need to start planting the new greenhouse. And gosh, not only have we been too busy for that, I just don't know what to put in it. But probably this week, like we got to get our shit together and get something done, but we'll find out. We got to figure it out. So we'll see. But anyway, it really is time to start planting some starts in the house or in the greenhouse or whatever. So anyhow, that's what's been running through my mind is what we're planting this year. But I called this magazine the Dream a Little Dream Edition because there is a lot of magic and potential this week. So your goals, your hopes, things you're dreaming of, manifesting, working on, this is a good week for it. And for a while now, it hasn't felt like a good week for it. We've just felt chaotic and pissed off and ugh. This week feels like we can settle into working on some of our own manifestations and our goals. So I hope that you guys will be able to do that as well. All right. So, also, obviously, this time of year, I always start thinking about the bees. In fact, I think we're going to keep bees again this year. We haven't in a few years. We took our hives down. Well, our hive died off and we didn't reassemble. But Scott and I were talking yesterday that I think we're going to go ahead and order bees and run bees again this year. Our plants and trees and things were never happier than when we had bees. They did really, really well. And we think it's time. Also, it just helps. It helps to strengthen local, the local apiary community by keeping bees on your property. So I think we're going to run bees again. But I wanted to talk a little bit about things you can do to help strengthen the bee community where you live, because I'm sure we've talked about this lots of times, and so has everyone else. But there has been such a problem the last several years, about the last 15 years, with bees dying off. And the problem with that, of course, is that without bees, we do not have food. 1/3 of the food you put in your mouth, so consider every 3 bites, would not be on the planet anymore if bees weren't on the planet anymore. And so that's how serious of a crisis we're looking at with bees. The biggest problem, there's been a lot of problems, but one of the biggest problems was in the 80s and 90s, well, more than that, 70s and 80s more. There were some pesticides that were brought onto the market that were literally just wiping the bees completely out. Now, in some countries, they're completely illegal to use. Not this one, of course. We're okay with poisoning our populace, you've probably noticed. Uh, but some things you can do: avoid pesticides as much as possible, in every way. Look for natural alternatives. But it's the neon, good Lord, I'm never going to say this right. The neonicotinoids, that is a terrible attempt, that were the biggest problem for the bees. So you want to make sure that you are buying plants that are bee safe, that were grown bee safe, and also that you're not using anything like that on your own property. So here is a chart of plants that are awesome to plant on your property that the bees love. Bees go crazy for lavender. They absolutely love it. And well, and also butterfly bush. It's not on this list, but butterfly bush too looks kind of like lavender, and the bees go crazy for it. Thyme, because thyme flowers. Thyme flowers these little purple or white flowers, and bees love that. We have a ton of thyme in our front flower beds, and the bees absolutely swarm to it. Cilantro, because of course cilantro flowers into big white flowers that big bunches of white flowers that are tiny actually, but they do really well with that. Borage, sage, those pretty purple sage flowers, they love them. Fennel, hollyhock. Oh my God, that really makes me want hollyhock. When I was a kid, my mom had so many hollyhocks, and we'd take toothpicks and we'd go out and we would pinch off a unbloomed, a bud, and then pinch off a whole flower, and we'd make dolls. Did you guys do that when you were kids with a toothpick? We used to do that all the time. I'm surprised she didn't kill us for that. But actually, I think she's the one that taught me how to do that. Picking all the hollyhocks to make hollyhock dolls. Crocus, and crocuses should be coming up right now. Buttercup, snowdrop, geranium, aster, calendula, sweet acelum, poppy, zinnia, sunflower, and heliotrope. And again, butterfly bush. Uh, those are all really good ones for the bees. And then, of course, flowering trees. Our crabapple gets absolutely inundated from the bees, and that's a really good one too. So, whenever you are thinking about what you're going to plant in your yard, be thinking bee friendly. And then you also can build a little bee waterer. Bees really need this in the springtime when they need access to fresh, clean water. So you just take a saucer and put a bunch of flat marbles in it, just like the kind you can get from the dollar store, just rinse them good so that you have, dry places for bees to stand on so that they can take drinks of water. And just every few days, just rinse it out with the hose and just, kind of refresh the water. Just make sure there's plenty of flat surfaces that the bees can stand on so that they don't drown. But that's a really easy way to help support the bees, is to provide them with a waterer. So there you go. There's a whole bunch of bee love. And remember, bees, not only do they help cut back a lot on they help to get your flowers in your garden and your plants growing well, and everybody else's. They also cut way back on hornets. If you have hornets on your property, and a big problem with that, which we really get them bad. Honeybees help to cut back on hornets. They don't stick around when the honeybees are there because they'll kill them. So that's another great reason to really support the bees and attract them to your property. Okay. My new enchanted hidden candle line. I already talked about it a lot the last 2 weeks, so I won't go way into it today. But if you just click on this picture in Luminous, it'll take you right to my Etsy store, and so you can see those and learn all about them. They're selling really well. We're having a ball with them. All righty. Lots of good meditations over at Planet Meditation. If you guys are looking for something new to listen to, there's lots of stuff over there. About 60 meditations over there now. All right, bitch scopes. Kelly has so much going on, and yet she still manages to kick out bitch scopes every week, and they're so thoughtful and well done. And She blows my mind. So let's see what she says about today. Tuesday, April. Ooh, look at her. Venus enters Pisces, sensitive and dreamy. Juno square North Node, partnership at odds with progress. And Mars square North Node and South Nodes, lessons from the past motivate you. So let's read one scope. How about, who do we never do? How about Capricorn? Your creative expression will benefit from the transit of Mercury through your fifth house. You may be more mentally focused on and communicating more with your children. You may not be as focused as you usually are, but that's balance for you. Let your mind have some fun. Meanwhile, Venus may increase your chattiness and desire to socialize and vocalize. Intellectual conversations are more interesting to you than small talk, but overall, there's a lot of charm to these transits for you. Awesome. So be sure you read your scope, your partner's scope, your boss's scope, make sure you know what's going on with everybody this week, as always. All right. My tip this week is my spring sinus blend. Talked to a lot of you guys this last week that are having some sinus stuff. It's in the air, boy. So, in a 10 ml roller bottle, combine 3 drops each of lavender, lemon, and peppermint essential oils. Top it off with liquid coconut oil or any other carrier oil that you love. And then you can rub that on your sinuses. I love that, like across my forehead, back of the neck, under your nose. You can also, rather than do that, you can use just the oils without the carrier oil and make a blend to put in your diffuser. That's really good too. That's a good way to go. Yeah. Yes, Sid, this is a really good point. Thank you. She said to help the bees, it's best to avoid buying plants at the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's. The soil is treated. Some of them are labeled bee friendly, bee safe, but yes, this is a good point. The soil is treated with the bad chemical, the neonicotinolamide. It is the same chemical that's in spot on dog flea and pesticides. Yeah. Yeah. We've been putting that on our dogs too. Yep. So, Ace Hardware, she said, at least hers sells plants that do not have this chemical. Best way to go to local nurseries and ask them. Just ask them. But typically, local nurseries are not using stuff like that. But anyway, just go and ask them to be sure. But yeah, it's another good reason to support local, honestly, when you're buying your stuff, your plants and things. All right, so that's the spring sinus blend. Let's see. The Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle reading this week is Solitude. And there's a video there from Christy. The Magic Monday message is Rave On. I love this. Keep going. Keep looking for the beauty. Keep finding things that grab your attention and make you feel good. The Heart Happenings from Ginger, talking about spring and or fall. But that this is a good time as the seasons are changing to think about change and embrace change. She's got a great article here about that and how to support yourself during the process. All right. As always, lots of good action going on over at True Crime Paranormal. Is it good? It's not, it just means there's still a lot of crime on the horizon. That's a never-ending fact. But anyway, I'll say this, lots of good work over there on crime. How's that? All right. Well, that is pretty much it for Luminous. So hopefully you find some gems in there. And as always, thank you to everybody that helps me, that contributes to Luminous. You guys, I appreciate your support more than you ever know. There's no way I could do it myself. Yeah. Terry said she tried to have bees for 8 years and they didn't make it because I was trying to learn, but I had no bees. Oh, for our apple tree because they were lopsided. And I found out the bees weren't pollinating them. And I just couldn't do it physically anymore, but lots of runaway bees in my yard. Well, that's good. Our very first swarm I had purchased. And then when we were putting them in the hive, I think I killed the queen trying to get her out of the clip. My hand slipped and I felt like I wasn't sure. And that hive struggled and kind of started to die out. And then, not too far from us, a truck on the highway that was carrying bees, so they had millions of bees, overturned and set loose honeybees, as far as the eye can see. And I think a swarm found our hive because it wasn't too long after that that it was suddenly populated again and did really well for a few years. And then it did die off. Yeah, I know they're hard, Terry. They're hard. There's definitely a learning curve. And I don't know if my swarm died or if they left. Sometimes they leave. If the queen dies, they will leave. So I was never really sure why they left, but they did. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So there you go. Oh, Sid's been taking care of monarchs. Oh, that's amazing. So, Sid, do they come to your yard naturally or are you ordering them? When I was a kid, you could order monarchs. You could order the caterpillars and hatch monarchs, but they probably come naturally to you guys. We did make our own honey. Yep, we still have quite a bit of it. That it's really dark. It's really different from like I mean, it tastes the same, but it looks different. It's really, really dark. Yeah, we saved it and we've used it to make mead and things like that. And like, uh, what am I trying? Like medicinals and things like that. Like Scott has a tea that he makes for the kids in the winter when they're sick. That he, sorry, he gathers. Maybe I need it. I'm not sick, but that what am I trying to say? Rose hips. He gathers rose hips in the fall, up in the mountains above us, where we get the rose petals in the summer. And then he uses that with cinnamon sticks and a bunch of other stuff that he throws in, kind of like his chai that he makes, and boils that down with his honey from our bees for the kids when they are sick. In fact, this year, the poor kids, Micah and Matea, had COVID and they were so sick and they were calling us saying, I just wish dad was here to make his tea for us. Some things never change. When the kids had their tonsils out, that's all they wanted for days. They just lived on dad's, dad's medicinal tea. That was it. But, he never makes me that when I'm sick. I guess I'm going to have to put my foot down around here and probably learn how to make it so I can make it for him when he's sick. But yeah, we still have honey and we use it for those purposes. But also the beeswax, because at the time I was still making a lot of products for my store. I still had my metaphysical store, and beeswax is really expensive to use for like lip glosses and lotions and stuff like that. And we still have a huge chunk of beeswax from the bees. And that was awesome, but we still have that, which is amazing. Yep. Oh, Sid said you just buy milkweed plants, and a lot of times the eggs are already on the plants. Adults will find the plants in your yard. They're starving for milkweed. It's the only place they can lay eggs. It can get pretty crazy when they eat up all the milkweed that you've got, and you've got to scramble to buy more plants when you come to regard them as your hungry babies. Oh, Sid, that's so cool. I want pictures. I would love to see that this summer. Yes. Ooh, when you get sick, ask Scott to make you a hot toddy. Honey, butter, and rum heated up. Yes. I love a hot toddy. Love. Yes. To me, when you're sick and like your throat hurts or you're coughing, brandy, whew, to me, that does an amazing job. Anyway. Okay. Well, enough of that. Let's keep going. So, let's read a passage from Kathleen's book and then we'll do a few readings from the chat. How is that? And that rhymed and I didn't even mean it to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Guard your beeswax, right? She said, much of the stuff sold on the market is adulterated. Yes, it's bleached. It's bleached. When you see beeswax that's white or like creamy colored, that's not what beeswax looks like. That's not normal. Yeah. We were buying it from a local beekeeper. Scott grew up around the corner from a family that like raised bees commercially. So they are here in Idaho in the winter, and then in the summer, or in the summer, sorry, they're here in Idaho in the summer. And then in the fall, they load all of their hives up and they take them to California. And they go to almond and bee or orange farms, I think, in the winter. And then back in the summer, they come back here to the alfalfa, to the hayfields. So anyway, because he knows them and, he's known them all of his life, we were buying beeswax from them that was also clean and pure. But yeah, when you go buy beeswax and it's white, that's there's something very wrong with that. Beeswax should be gold. That's the color it actually is. Yep. But yeah, they bleach it so that you can make candles out of it and make all the different colors that you want to make. Uh, right? Because they want beeswax for their candles because it smells amazing, but it also burns really slow. Beeswax does. So it's a great alternative for tapers and stuff like that that you don't want to have burn super fast. Because so here's the thing with I know. Are you very interested in a conversation about wax? Okay, well here we go. Thanks, Sid. Me and you. Back in the day, and even now, like chime candles and a lot of candles are petroleum based. And a lot of people had decided that that's probably not very good for your lungs. It's also not good for the planet. And so we switched over to soy. A lot of people switched over to soy wax. And soy wax is fine. It is clean. It's better for you. It's not a huge problem. But the melting point is really low with soy, and so it melts really fast. So the candles, they don't do well as tapers because they just, they melt down so quickly. But also it melts so fast that that was a problem for people. And so they started using beeswax. And again, beeswax makes amazing candles. If you don't want to color them, if you want them to just be natural. But if you do want to color them, the problem is you're going to have to go for beeswax that has been treated, which is white. Yep. And oh, Sid said she knows of a candle maker who has off white wax that doesn't have a toxic method of processing. Oh, that's interesting. That's good to know. Because, yeah, they'll bleach it essentially. Oh, Scott says that they might just be actually using solar a solar method to bleach it out versus like a chemical method because that's what a lot of the beeswax you get has been bleached out chemically so that you can have colored beeswax. So if you're buying candles that are bright colors, you really have to wonder how, right? How has this been treated so that it can be that color? If you're buying bright gold, well, that's what beeswax looks like. Anyway, so then the latest improvement on wax is palm wax, and that's what our new candles are that we're selling over on Etsy. Our hidden enchanted candles are palm, and palm is cool as hell. The melting point is higher, so they don't melt so fast and just go to pieces so quickly like soy does, but they do a lot of they do something really cool. If you heat them exactly right, you have to treat it just correctly. There's a learning curve, but as they cool, it makes this really cool, like feathered crystalline matrix on the surface of the candle. So they make the coolest freestanding candles, like the pyramids we're doing, or tapers and stuff like that. And it is naturally a lighter color, so you can put your colors into them and they're more sustainable. So, anyway, blah, blah, blah. I know that's a boring conversation about wax, but it's important. You're right, Sid. It is important. Yeah. Because a lot of people use candle melts or wax melts and stuff like that. But what is the base? What is the wax made out of? And is that really healthy to have in the air in your house for you and for your pets to breathe in? Just so many things we never really think about, you assume that it's probably safe if it's on the market, and unfortunately that's not always the case, but yeah. Okay. We got to do bibliomancy and quit talking about wax. Okay. So this is Kathleen's book. So per always, we're just going to flip to a page and we're going to read it. Now it is Dana again, I swear. Okay, we're not doing Dana again. Sorry, Dana. All right, hold on there. Okay, I'm in between pages, so I'm going to go. Archangel Haniel. I come to you today to encourage you to connect with the light and energy of the moon. The moon is filled with powerful light and energy, which will help you in healing and connecting more closely with the divine feminine. If you are involved in working with herbs and potions, call on me to help you increase your connection to the moon and its healing light. The moon is powerful and affects all, as evidenced by the tide of the ocean and other bodies of water. Your moon connection will also assist you in opening yourself to clairvoyance and other sight. I encourage you to touch the moon energy within you. Notice that when the moon is full, people and animals take on different ways of being. Do not fear this, but listen to what happens to you when you are more connected with the moon. It is amazing what happens when you allow the moon to become a greater part of your life. The energy and light from the moon create a greater, more open connection with the power of the divine feminine. You are all powerful and you all contain aspects of the divine feminine. Now you are being called to this power which resides within you. This is the power which approaches life in a gentle manner. This moves you to stand in your power of self. The divine feminine is slowly becoming more prevalent in your world. Know that you will notice a strong presence of the feminine coming to the fore. Now is the time. You have all lived with the warrior who is aggressive, fierce, and warlike. Now is the time of the warrior who can work toward understanding and acceptance. This warrior is no less fierce than the previous warrior, but the energy comes from a different place, a place filled with the desire and ability to work together for a better world for all. I come today to offer my support as you move into the work you all have done, moving yourselves towards this energy. And I say to you that you are not alone. I say that for every act of terror and war, there are innumerable acts of kindness and sharing, whether on a one-on-one basis or in groups. I see you moving in a direction of caring and sharing. When you come from your power, when you allow the divine feminine to share with the divine masculine on an equal basis within, then you have balance. Once the balance is achieved, you no longer need to fight to be right. As you move into a position where you accept that it's okay for each to have their own beliefs and opinions, you move into a more peaceful existence. Be gentle with yourself as you have worked hard to change. Know that your hard work is impressive from my perspective. Know that I see all of you becoming more and more of what you committed to be before you came to the earth plane. Connect with the moon and open yourselves to a different kind of healing energy and light, which will accelerate all you have been doing. Open to the changes, keep focused on the positive aspects of life. Call on me to help with your connection to the moon and the divine feminine within. Your life is changing daily. Do not be afraid, for wonderful experiences await you. I send you blessings, love, light, and encouragement to make the powerful connections with the moon and your divine feminine. Have a glorious, light-filled day. Wow. And that again is Archangel Haniel. So thank you, Kathleen, and thank you, Haniel. That's thought-provoking, and especially in the time that we're in, obviously. But I'm going to say that I have believed for a while now that most of what's happening in the US is the fear of the uprising of the divine feminine. I feel like the old guard is very afraid of the new energy that's moving in and it's fighting it really hard. And I think we are seeing that in a lot of different aspects. So interesting stuff, very thought provoking stuff today. Yeah. Okay. So I said we were going to do readings and we've really run out of time for that. But I did want to address Tara quickly because she has a puppy. She has a brand new puppy. He's so cute. Did you end up where am I? Did you end up naming him Duncan? I think that was the first thought, right? Okay. He's a Labradoodle, you guys, and he's so damn cute. But she said he cries every time she leaves the room. So a lot of it is just time. You have to remember that he has just separated from his everything that he knew from his family. And that is something that's going to take a minute. Terry suggested a piece of clothing that smells like you. That's a really good idea. Uh, Stuffed animals are good for this. Things to cuddle. I really like the rice bags that are stuffed animal shaped, that are not ones that have like the lavender and stuff in them, but just plain for a puppy. But that you can warm up a little bit so they have a warm body to cuddle with is sometimes helpful. Sometimes keeping a little bit of chaos going, like a little bit of TV or radio or sound going, is helpful too. Uh, and time. So always connecting at the heart, though, to his heart and reminding him that he's safe and that he's okay. He'll work through that. That'll be okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got to get out of the way because it's time for Sounds Like Lisa. So thanks so much for being here. Don't forget, I am a professional psychic advisor over at one2listen.com. And I'm over there literally every day. So if I can help you, come over and I'll do anything I can to help you out. So, you've been listening to One Two Radio. Of course, this has been the Katie Weaver Show here on One Two Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world. Take care.